guess I'm live now? Okay, so hello everyone and welcome to Okami New Game Plus All Brushes. Um, well, we're gonna begin from a New Game Plus file. At the end of the game you get a free New Game Plus file and it gives you a bunch of shit which we can do amazing stuff with, and we're generally gonna break the game completely open with it. So timing is mostly done by in-game time. I'm just gonna start it from file select because whatever. So yeah, you ready? Okay. Okay. So we are playing a wolf god, and that's a pretty nice thing. We can do pretty awesome stuff with her, and the first thing of New Game Plus is that we can skip every cutscene. So at the start of the game, there's 14 minutes of cutscenes, and we just skip them. We're gonna head into the tutorial zone of the game instantly, and then I have to explain something about speed. So you saw me dash at the start of that. That is to gain half speed, and once you walk for a bit, you gain full speed. We're trying to keep full speed as long as possible. And something you might notice me doing is I'm jumping in and out of cutscenes. This is called speed restoration. By jumping into the cutscene, we restore our speed, and by jumping out, we restore our speed. So that way we can keep our speed through cutscene and some loading zones, but those are really specific. Another thing about the game is the brush. So here we have a constellation, and by using the brush, we draw a star and we complete the constellation, giving us a new brush power. In this case, it's rejuvenation, which we won't be using that much. I think this is the only time you're gonna see it, and we're done with rejuvenation. So it restores things to their usual state. In this case, we create a river, which we can swim through. Holy shit, the game is lagging. Oh, oops, I did not have speed there. So, about the story of the game. Basically, a demon that has been sealed for 100 years has been let loose, and we need to find something to cut down a fruit so that a village can be spared. Something like that. We're gonna have a lot of sequence breaking, so I'll try and make jokes about it. But this is one of the few moments in time where the story actually matches up with what we're doing. Let me just say that. So here we restore this sword. I lied. And we gain the next brush power, which is Power Slash, which is a very useful ability, because we can cut stuff with it. For instance, these things. There we go. You might notice me going to the left here. That is to skip a fight trigger. There is a fight here, and I skipped it. So, the triggers in this game are really badly made. Most of them are way too small. So, you can skip most of them quite easily. And I'll do that a lot. So here's another fight trigger, and we skipped it. So like the amount of space I have to skip that fight trigger is enormous, and it's really nice. And then we're gonna go back, because we're done with this tutorial section. A fun thing about speed is that it also stores up in the river. So here we've restored our speed, which is really nice. And then we're gonna go back to the start of the game, which we left quite quickly. Okay. No, I didn't put my camera properly. So we cut down the fruit, you saw it falling there and there. That released the souls of the village, but the village isn't quite alright yet. You can see it by the fact that everything is green and the sky is dark and everything. So, and also another thing is that all the villagers are now statues. So that's not good. The game wants you to talk to 3 of them, and then we go somewhere and get another brush power, but you know what? We're not gonna do that. Fuck these villagers. We'll fix them later. So we're gonna talk to this one real quick, and then we're gonna leave. So I'm gonna perform a glitch here, and I'm gonna explain it after I do it. There we go. So what you saw me do there, you saw me go into the menu and quickly select a karmic transformer, which is basically a skin that changes your... it's a skin, so yeah. You can see I'm looking a lot different from the previous one. When the menu closes, there is a one or 2 frame window where I press the dash button, and doing that allows me to get a dash as if I was on the ground, and off of that dash I can jump, thus basically giving me infinite jumps. I'll refer to the glitch as KT or KTing. So yeah, that's the thing. It's from the karmic transformers, by the way, are from the New Game Plus thing. At the end of the game, from results, you get your karmic transformers. You always get a certain set for completing the game, and you get extra for completing it with special things. So here we go into our first fight, and I'm gonna equip a couple of things. I'm gonna equip really good weapons, because New Game Plus. So we're gonna equip this, and we're gonna use this thing. So you saw just everything die right there. And holy shit, there's so much lag. What the fuck? And what I just used is called a slip, or an exorcism slip to be exact. We have a whole bunch of them because we carry over from our previous file. And they basically deal a shit ton of damage to everything on screen, which is really nice. And we'll be abusing that a lot to basically one-shot almost any fight. I also equipped the string of beads. This is a special item you only get from collecting 100 stray beads that are scattered all around the world. And getting these, and like the string of beads is really powerful because it ups your attack power by 10. And it gives you infinite life and infinite ink. And with ink, we use the brush. So we can infinitely keep using our brush, for instance. It really makes the New Game Plus a bit of a optimization of movement and tricks, rather than fights, which is pretty okay. Also, here we're supposed to have the sunrise ability, but we don't. But for some reason, drawing a circle there, the game is like, you know what? You have the sunrise ability. So that's a very nice thing. In any percent, that is probably one of the reasons why it's really fast. Otherwise we would have to do the whole thing with the villagers, and it's kind of boring. Sadly for all brushes, however, we will be getting sunrise. So about all brushes, so I mentioned that there are brush powers, like Power Slash, which I'm going to use now, like that. The goal of all brushes is to get every single brush technique and all of their upgrades, which takes a while. And in any percent, we skip a lot of brush powers. And here we get Susano. Probably get the best part. No. Now for the most weird name of a technique, Exploding Implosion. No idea how that works. And now we have this bowl. This bowl is really shitty, because I just clipped through it, for instance. It has really precise collision checking. It's basically a true spherical object, and it's really hard to push it around to its proper place. Yeah, now it's stuck in the worst possible place you can get it stuck in. There we go. So yeah, that ball is probably the worst thing about the start of this run. It's so annoying to deal with. So here we're gonna use the sunrise ability that we don't have once again to create a really big Cardian sapling, and we get our new brush power, which is Bloom. Now guess what Bloom does? Oh, you're gonna see it now. Ta-da! Nice cherry blossoms. Nice lag as well. Holy shit, the game lags on HD, dude. So here there's a fight trigger. We're gonna skip it. But we're gonna do it kind of specially by using a KT. And we're over this fight trigger. And then we're gonna walk back to Shinshu Field, where we're gonna bloom the other tree. So the goal of the game right now, story-wise, is to bloom as many trees as we can to restore the land back to its former glory instead of the curse zones. Oh, there was a fight there, by the way. I just walked around it. Like I said, fight triggers are very easy to skip in this game. They're like, the only fights we do are truly forced upon us. Or too much of a bother to skip, really. So here we have the cursed zone. And by drawing a circle, we bloom the tree. And the cursed zone is gone. And now we're gonna go back to Kamiki, because we still have some unfinished business there. We kinda left it in a sorry state. I guess we should really wake up the villagers and everything. Might be useful. The game actually doesn't want you to leave Shinshu Field yet, because it has certain things it wants to show you. But we could just say, I want to go back to Kamiki. And now for probably the worst trick in the start of the game, reverse boulder skip. So we're inside the boulder right now. And we have to KT out of it, like this. I made it look easy. That trick is really hard. The boulder is really finicky and tends to be really annoying. So we're blooming these trees right now. This is to get a brush power a little later on. As you can see, some of the villagers are not stone and some of the villagers are stone. This is because when you bloom the Guardian Sapling in Shinshu Field, it reloads the way this place works. Also, this game is really hard with that woman Unfrozen, because she chases you around and tries to hit you, and you... Bird, go away. And you have to, like, stop her from hitting you, but now she's just in the middle of the patch, doing absolutely nothing. We're kind of cheating, basically. Doing this is basically set up for something way later into the run. But we have to do it, so... We're here right now, so it's easier to do it right now. And speed. So if you make sharp turns, you will instantly lose your speed. So you really try to avoid doing that as much as possible. And it's really hard to combine that with using the brush. So you often see me jump when I'm using the brush to allow me to easily keep my speed. And we got all the trees, that's nice. Then we go here. And we get the sunrise brush power, which we technically already had, basically. Another fight. Skip the slip, or cheese with the slippery. I feel charging up speed. You'll see me in fights sometimes just walk around in circles. That is to try and charge up speed, so we can use it later after a fight. And now we get the Kamiki shuffle, where I have to draw a lot of circles. This game likes its circles, by the way. So we're basically slowly blooming up the guardian tree of the village. And we need this guy's help for it. He's called Mr. Orange, by the way. He has a nice little orange on the top of his hat. This game is kind of weird like that. A lot of the characters and stuff are inspired by Shinto fables and legends and stuff like that. Which makes it a really cool game because it's full of Japanese references, which are really awesome. I highly suggest playing this game at least once in your life. It's such a fun game to play. So now Kamiki is restored to its fullest. Well, technically not, because the boulder is still there, and we're gonna leave that boulder there. And we get another brush power, which we don't entirely need at all, ever. But we get it nonetheless, because this is all brushes. It's lily pad. So now we can create lily pads on water, which is pretty fun. Like I said, it's entirely not needed. I use it to speed up certain sections, which, again, you don't really need it for. So now we're gonna leave the village again, same way we left the first time. So yeah. Oh god. You might notice that when I'm doing KTs, I buffer a frame. That is to be able to see if I got the KT or not. Because you can do it unbuffered, but it's really hard to get the trick sometimes. So it's better to buffer them. It's actually, for me right now, it's easier to buffer KTs than to do unbuffered KTs. Because, I don't know, it's just completely muscle memory right now, and the moment I break that muscle memory, I get confused. So it's kind of annoying. So here we're gonna travel to a hut, or shrine really. Mika's shrine, because the guy inside is called Mika. And we get a certain item from him. And that item is called the monster list. It's a list of monsters that he wants to have us kill. And this is one of this. This also turns the game to night, which is an important factor. Because we need it to be night to be able to get our next brush power. Viva Madu. I need to remember the name, because I need to cross his name off the list. I have forgotten it multiple times in runs, and it's always been quite embarrassing. This is unskippable cutscenes. God damn, not long enough. So we just hold the square button to make it go fast. And then we're gonna go to the other side of this river. Now while I'm in the river, I mash the X button, because that makes Amy jump a lot and makes her go fast. And then we're gonna do Pill's TM skip. It's basically a positioned KT. It's not very special, but we like to name it. So we just skipped a fight there. A fight with a new enemy, and that shows a whole cutscene about it as well. So that's kind of annoying. And then we get the cherry bomb ability, which summons a giant bomb, and in this case, nice fireworks. And there we go. And with that, we can open certain cracks in walls, like this one. Now remember, the fight trigger I was talking about is still there, so we're gonna skip it again. If I can get the KT, thank you. Yeah, we're good, cool. And we skipped it again. So the game wants you to go to the marked places right there, but you know what? I'm kinda done with Shinshu Field. Let's leave it. We're just gonna run over here, and we're gonna skip using lily pad, hopefully, if I'm good enough. It's kind of a backup at this point. We can run over this piece of water, jump here. And then we're gonna go in here. Now this is called the corner glitch, which I'm performing right now. The game has an auto jump function, and for some reason when you're in water and you're next to a corner, you can jump out of the water. You're supposed to use a lily pad there to be able to get up here, but you can entirely skip that. Now we're gonna jump down here, and we're gonna go to our next Guardian Sapling and bloom it. Wow. The amount of lag is crazy, dude. I'm not used to it. So, the game wants you to do a lot of things here in Nagata, but I can't be bothered, really. So first we're gonna have to skip a fight here with a guy named Waka. He also has an annoying cutscene and everything, but we can just skip it like this. So we just skip the fight. Always nice. And then we're gonna jump up here. Now we could go all the way around here. Did I mention that this was a 1 to 2 frame trick? Wow. I just lost completely the time to it. There we go. Okay, it still reaches. So we're gonna go up here real quick. You might have seen some green stuff go up real quick there. That is a mermaid spring, and we'll be using it for fast travel later. So we need to trigger it right now so we can use it. And then we're gonna just leave Agata Forest using a liquid KT. A liquid KT works slightly differently than normal KT. Because we cannot jump while we're over water, we basically just dash right on top of right above the surface. We switch to a different KT, and then we can just jump. Works like that. And then we go into Taka Pass. So we basically skipped a lot of story in Agata. And we'll be coming back there later because there's some brush techniques that we'll have to get. I have no idea how that works. The recognition for drawing is really weird. Sometimes stuff works, sometimes stuff doesn't work, and it can be really annoying to deal with. And here we have Waka. So we're supposed to have fought him already, but now we're fighting him. And that was the fight. This is the first time you do not see me use a slip there. Simply because it's faster to use our glaive, which is the big sword on our back. Excuse me. How glaives work is by holding the attack button, we charge it, and then we let go, and it deals a lot of damage. So you're supposed to go all the way up to be able to bloom that tree, but it's faster to just walk back. And KT up here. I really can't find the timing on this thing, dude. And we can bloom it from a distance. You're supposed to fix the bridge that is in between this, the tree and the rest of the land, but you can entirely skip it. Like you see, the bridge is still broken. You can simply bloom it from a pretty big distance. The tree was already there from the start, but sadly we have to beat Waka to be able to bloom it, except on the Japanese re-release, and we have no clue why. It doesn't work on the English re-release as well, so it's pretty weird. So next we're gonna do this Moly minigame. We have to hit the blue mole. I can somewhat predict where he's going by looking at how he walks around. Whenever he crosses, he usually switches places with the thing he crosses. And we do that to get the teapot. The teapot is something of a setup for something like 1.5 hours into the run, probably even 2 hours into the run. We basically give it to this woman, And she gives us the golden mushroom. And I was too close, so I can't. Okay. And that's basically something we do for now, and later on we'll be using it to get an upgrade for a brush power. So now we're just walking towards a devil gate. Now what do devil gates do? When you run inside them, they trigger a fight, and usually you rejuvenate part of the land, or you intervene on part of the land. So here we have the Blood Ogre, use a slip. We glue him open, and then we use another slip to quickly kill him. And we get a yellowing. And then we charge up speed, so we can use it later. So now we have another mermaid spring right there, which is really nice. Gives us more fast travel options. We like those. And then we're gonna go into Sasa Sanctuary. Now for Sasa Sanctuary, you have to do a lot of things before you can enter it, actually. Before you can enter the main building. You have to do a really annoying side quest with the child of the leader here. But we have an infinite jump glitch, so we're just gonna jump here. This is really annoying me. I really can't get the timing down. I want to jump over the loading zone, so getting into it is really annoying. And I'm not used to this particular screen and its input lag, so I'm having a lot of trouble getting my KTs. Okay, I'm too early. Okay, that's important knowledge. Knowing if you're too early or too late is very important. So we're just gonna jump out of bounds here, and we're gonna fall down. So a feature about as good as any map in Okami is that interior is always right at the bottom of exterior. So if you can jump out of bounds, you can get into the interiors of areas. And now we're back inside the exterior of the area. And we're gonna talk with this bath attendant. And then we're gonna do a digging game. With Mr. Bamboo. So we skip this, didn't get the first room jump, nice. Draw a bomb here. So the object of the digging game is to get Mr. Bamboo as far as, like all the way down as fast as we can. So we like to make him go fast by drawing a circle around him, so we don't have to wait too much on him. Oh yeah, I also have a bark button, by the way. I'll be using it sometimes. And then we dig up the hot spring. And by doing that, we get a new ability, which is called Water Spout. Wow. Wow. There we go. If you miss a star, it doesn't trigger, so that's somewhat annoying. So what Water Spout does is you can control water like that, and you can create pillars of water on certain spots, which is really useful. Now we're gonna jump down here, and we're gonna use Water Spout on that. Keep it on land. Let's see if I can see it. Oh, wow. I didn't know I could land on that. Okay. Now we're gonna go to the back of this area, which is a very special place. You can hear it by the music and everything. It's really calm, serene. Jump like that. And the thing that's floating in front of us is the canine tracker, We're not supposed to have that item yet, but because we're here a little early, we have it for some reason. It's not required for this part of the story. And now we're gonna fight against Frankercy. How that part of the story works, I'll explain a little bit later. I got unlucky with the beads. Running in circles again. It's more cutscenes. And we jump out and gain speed again. So the part of the story we're entering right now is the Kusa village part, where which is basically a giant fetch quest where we have to fight/feed dogs to gain their power orbs. And when we have collected all the 8 power orbs, we can go into the dungeon of Kusa village. In any percent, we skip all that and we do a crazy amount of KTs to get there. I'm kind of happy I didn't do any percent here because I'm absolutely not used to this screen, and doing 100 KTs in a row on the screen I'm not used to is not a good idea. I can tell you that much. So now we're gonna run up to Kusa village, which is cursed right now, which isn't very nice. You can hear the music slowly fading. And there we have all the bad stuff coming from it. It's pretty funny they did that with a loading zone. It's pretty cool. So what's wrong with it? Well, it's cursed, and for some reason the wind has died down. While it is cursed like this, we cannot use our brush abilities, except for the fact that we have the string of beads, so we can technically still use them, but they won't do anything. So here we're gonna shop for mermaid coins. Because we have a ton of money, because of New Game Plus, we can just buy 11 real fast. We're gonna use those to fast travel using the mermaid springs. So they're pretty important to get real quick. Those items are not carried over from New Game Plus because, well, they would quote-unquote break the story. So if we're not doing that right now. So here we talk to Princess Fuse, who's been possessed. Oh, that's easy. I'm gonna use a slip to quickly end this fight. Oh, nice. I'm having so much trouble keeping speed here. And so the curse has been lifted. So now Princess Fuse talks about the evil inside Gil Shrine, and that we have to collect the power orbs to be able to, what's it called? To be able to get in there and defeat the guy. So you see that weird thing again floating around. It's called the canine tracker. It leads us to these dogs, and here in Kusa village we have to feed 4 dogs. However, some funky stuff is gonna go on. I'll say that later. Shouldn't have mentioned it really. Here's Mr. Bamboo again. It's funny because we found him in Sasa Sanctuary, and right here he is like mumbling like, "Oh, I can't get into Sasa Sanctuary," even though we just saw him there, which is pretty stupid. But that's just how sequence breaking works. Now we go back up. Okay, cool. Benelux speed. So this is just a small part of the fetch quest. And here we have Susano lying around, being haunted by dreams. We're just gonna leave him alone there. I'm gonna bloom this patch. There we go. So we fed 3 dogs right now. Not 4, no, we fed 3 of them. So, however, the game will think we have fed 4 of them, because we have defeated one of the other dogs already. Which basically speeds up this part, and We're actually not even able to go to the other dog because we need to go via that flower. But we have to have a specific brush power to be able to get there. We could KT up there, I guess, but it's really slow to do that. So instead we can just skip feeding one of the dogs right now, and some funky stuff is gonna go on with that dog. Because we still have to feed that specific dog. I got unlucky. When they use that move, they become invulnerable. Have to wait for it to die down. Usually you can, if you time the down attack that I did, you can kill them the moment they stop their charge. But I got unlucky. Okay, so now we're gonna feed the dog that we didn't feed. I'm not close enough. We need to be careful not to get our food stolen. And because the game puts us back, we're suddenly in this cave. So this is the place where that dog is supposed to be. So we basically warped down the village a bit. It's pretty nice. Speeds things up a bit. We are supposed to feed that dog anyways, so yeah. We're gonna go down here. It'll probably turn night on me before I leave the village, but we'll see. There we go. It's actually nice because then I can just go for full charge right here. So now we're kind of done with Taka Pass. We've gotten all the things we need to for setup for later, and we got the water spout, which we need to be able to continue to the next area. Well, to be able to do anything in the next area. So we're just gonna go to that next area right now. You're supposed to do a lot of things here, and eventually, like, you're supposed to go all the way back to the previous areas, get all the up power orbs, and then go to the lair of the evil demon that we need to defeat before we're able to get across this giant river. However, that takes too long, so we're just gonna skip it. We're actually gonna go into the lair anyways later because there's a brush power there, and this is all brushes, so it's a pretty cool place though. So we're gonna jump off here, pretty specific spot. Well, the jump isn't that specific, but if you feel it, you're kind of screwed. I'm gonna jump all the way here. So you see a corner there. Well, I explained earlier that there's a corner glitch that allows you to jump out of water. So we're just gonna jump out of here. Ooh, and I got back in and I almost died. So you're not supposed to walk on this part of the geometry, so the geometry doesn't like you being here. So we're just gonna leave, do some KTs. I really can't get the timing down. Yeah, I'm still way too early every time. Gonna make it, it's gonna make it cool. It's kind of sad that I'm having so much trouble with KTing. It usually doesn't take me that long to KT, but I'm really not used to this screen. So yeah, we're not supposed to be here yet, to be very honest with you, but we are, so it's pretty cool. Okay, that is a problem. My controller doesn't like me doing certain things sometimes, so this can happen sometimes. I'll just leave it out. I think it's charged enough right now. So we're gonna skip another fight by going into the cursed zone. We will slowly die here, basically. Same as in water. We're just gonna walk around and then jump off. And we skip the fight. So here we could use Cherry Bomb, but that is slow, so we're just gonna do KT. There we go, that is the timing. I'm way too early every time, I need to remember that. And here we're gonna skip going from one puddle to the next. So we skip one of the puddles, which is nice. More speed. And then we're gonna jump back up here. And we're gonna do that puddle without you guys being able to see it, because I know where it is, haha. And then this Guardian Sapling will grow pretty big. like this. Poof. And then we're gonna bloom it. Then we're gonna bloom it. Thank you, game. Recognition about drawing so annoying sometimes. So now we're done with this section of the game. Well, we can finally do stuff here. Let me rephrase that. And we're gonna do something very cool, because we like to go out of bounds. So I'm gonna do that again. We're gonna do that in a really stupid way. Ah, missed it. There we go. That is called stair clip. For some reason, if you walk into the stair, into that part of the stair at a specific angle, you will clip through and fall down. And once again, areas that are interior are at the bottom, so we land here in the dojo. The only reason we really go right here right now for the dojo is for this specific technique that we're gonna learn right now. It is called the Holy Eagle, and it does something very easy. It is basically a double jump, which is useful because that cuts down the amount of KTs we have to do basically by half, which speeds everything up like a giant amount. So we kind of just rush here as quickly as we can, while picking up a few small things here and there. We're also gonna learn a different ability now that we're here, the digging champ. We're gonna need that a little later for a brush upgrade, so it's useful to get that right now. Oh. And what it basically does, you can dig through these giant blocks, and we're gonna need that later. And we're gonna run out now. And then it's like, hey, there's a dojo here. And then we're back in where we just were. I'm gonna use a lily pad here so we can jump again. And then land, restore speed. There we go. So now we're gonna go to Sai'an City, the big city of the game. Some stuff has gone wrong with it. There's a fight trigger here, we're gonna skip it. There we go. Nice. It's always nice when you're having trouble with your KTs and you find what's wrong, and then you can ace them. So you see this green stuff coming from it? Well, that's not good. As you can hear by the music. So there's this weird mist that is affecting the people of this place. You can see them all in pain and everything on the ground. It's not very nice. Sadly, we can't really do much against it right now, so we're just gonna run through. Also, the river that runs through the city is dry right now. You're supposed to do a digging game to be able to get the river back, and then we talk to the guy that's down there to do a fishing game to be able to raise the bridge. However, we have this really nice glitch that allows us to just jump over this part. And we will never raise the bridge in this run. Ever. At all. At one point, we can't even do it anymore, because that guy will be gone. So here we talk to Waka again, who's like, hey, shit has gone wrong here. And we're like, yeah, I noticed. And then we're gonna meet Busty Babe. There's a very good reason why we call her Busty Babe. She wants us to show that to her, and then we're gonna leave again. She's looking for her prayer slips because she's a priest, so we're gonna find that for her. It's basically set up for a story part. A lot of the start of the game is set up, and then we just clean up the entire game in one fell swoop. So the Emperor is sick, and we have a feeling he's like sick like everyone else and stuff like that. So we're just gonna check on him real quick. Oh my god. There we go. Trust me, I'm usually way better at this glitch. So, we're gonna check on the Emperor. Oh, hey. Ah, he seems to be fine. Let's talk to him. Well, we got something nice from him. So what we just bought is our first upgrade of a brush power we do not even have. It's pretty weird that we can do that, but the game allows it, and the game actually also allows us to use that upgrade, which is really useful because it's another fast travel method. And more fast travel is more fast. We like fast. Oh, come on. Sometimes when the menu closes, there's a little bit of lag. And that really throws off your timing even more. It's really annoying. So here we have Rau's prayer slips. I'm gonna grab them. I'm gonna bring them to her. I might go overestimate because of these KTs, man. They're really not working out. So here we gift them to Rau. She wants to talk to us for a bit and wants us to go to a sunken ship to find treasure. But we're not gonna do that yet. It's all just set up for later, so we can do everything quickly. So now we're kind of done with this place, and we're gonna leave it in this sorry state, I guess. Well, I don't really care. I don't even know all these people. We kind of dig like that. Ooh, that's a long load. We have a demon gate here, which, when defeated, gives us a mermaid spring, so that's pretty nice. So we got this beautiful sound. That is actually normal, because the two of them spawn at roughly the same time, and they die at roughly the same time as well. It's pretty funny. I'm gonna use another mermaid coin, and we're gonna travel to Agata. So that was the setup earlier, where we basically went up the hill to go up here, and we have this giant barrel here. We're gonna fill that for this lovely lady over there. Sadly, this lovely lady is going to be attacked by imps. Luckily, however, we have our big hero, Susano, who's gonna help us out defeat them. So, a bit about the story about Susano right now. He thinks his sword is possessed by something, even though we are basically doing all the work for him. So, I can, I guess, imagine why you'd think it's possessed. And after that, we're gonna straight into the next story part. So we got the canine tracker again. That means one of the dogs is out there. So there's gonna be some funky stuff going around. You're supposed to fish here for the first time already. You're supposed to have already fished here, but we didn't. And this is a fishing event, basically. And it's basically like it says like, oh, you're ready to catch the legendary Whopper. So yeah, of course, we're gonna catch the legendary Whopper. However, it's kind of gonna get mixed. So this is fishing. We collect a line to a fish, and then we put the analog stick in a different position, in a different, yeah. If the fish goes right, we go left. If the fish goes left, we go right, basically. In the opposite position. Words. Very important. sometimes fish can be trolls, turn around a bit, or just go straight away from you, and then it's like it takes forever for them to get to you. So, remember how we were going to catch the legendary Whopper, right? Well, you can say whatever you want, but that is one Whopper of a salmon. So, in the first fishing event, you catch the salmon. In the second one, you catch the Whopper. However, the events are now tied together. So the game thinks we caught the Whopper, so we get the next brush power, which is Present, which allows us to make it night. However, at the same time, it also thinks we caught the salmon. This is still part of the Whopper thing, but now we have something in our mouths, which is part of the quest of the salmon. Oh god, I'm getting really unlucky with these. So we have this weird thing in our mouths that is the key to the dungeon of this area. Sadly, however, opening the dungeon with the key has a pretty big cutscene, which takes forever, so we're just gonna drop it. We don't need it to enter the dungeon, which is right over there. Instead, we're gonna do something fun, something we haven't done before. We're just gonna jump to it. We're gonna jump over the gate. Ooh, that's kind of bad. Like that, and go straight into the loading zone that's right out, behind the door. So here we're gonna quickly go here and jump up to skip a cutscene. We're gonna skip a lot of Tsuta ruins, including the boss. I'm gonna do that with most dungeons in this speedrun. There are only 2 dungeons where we cannot do this. Well, one of them you can technically do that, but I think it like soft locks the game or something. I don't remember it. And then we're gonna... that's not enough. There's an invisible wall here. I just bumped into it with the KT. It's really annoying because I've been having trouble with them. I would like them to work. Okay, we jumped over it. We just skipped like almost the complete dungeon. I'm gonna go straight to here. So you can see the purple water on the left there. We would like to fix that because if we jump into it, we die. It's not nice. Well, quote unquote die. You can't actually die in this game really, unless you really mess up. But we don't even we can't even deplete our health in this speedrun, so we won't die ever in this run. So we just gotta fight these demon gates. There's 3 of them, and we're all just gonna cheese them with slips. I lost speed, that's bad. But luckily we can charge up in time. So here there's supposed to be some lag, but the game is lagging a lot more than I'm used to. I might have to change a certain setting. So here is a cutscene skip, which is really obnoxious. And I got it. So that cutscene skip might look easy, but it's a 1-frame cutscene skip. So I literally just mash as hard as I can for it. It seems to be a little bit easier on HD, I feel. Like with a proper HD monitor. So you're supposed to jump all the way up there to slash those spots, but we'll just do that from down here. Like this. It's not very hard. Then we're gonna go all the way down. So the water is all fine now, thanks to us breaking the pots. So we can go into the center of the dungeon. And why do we want to go into the center of the dungeon? Well, there's a brush power there. And we would like to collect all the brushes in this game. I'm quickly gonna change the setting, hoping it'll fix stuff. Okay, no, that's fine, I guess. Never mind. Thought maybe changing the filter would work, but it's It's on normal, so it should work out fine. Maybe it's just that my PS3 is pretty old and should really get some dust out of it. Because it's lagging way more than I'm used to. So by fixing all those patches, we get our next brush power, which is Vine. And by drawing a line from one of those flowers, we can drag certain objects to it. It works on Ami, it also works on hoops, other stuff like that. So yeah, we're kind of done with this area, with this dungeon I mean. So we're just gonna leave it. You're supposed to save a certain dog here, but we already fought that dog. Okay, yeah. By doing a KT, we can skip this specific cutscene, but I'm having trouble with KTing, so I guess we get to watch a cutscene. This costs about 20 seconds, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's still nice to be able to skip this. And then we're just gonna leave. Yeah. This is really slow right now. This is not good. We might not even get sub 240 in game time. It's really bad at this pace. So we've cleaned up Agata Forest basically. We'll never return here again. Well, do we? No, I don't think we do. So we got from the Emperor a certain item that gives us another fast travel ability, and that's this specific ability. We go to these save mirrors, and there are only specific ones with a cross on them, and we can warp in between them right now, which is really nice. Saves a lot of time. We want it to be night, so we draw presents. And then we're gonna talk to this dog. And we're gonna fight him. Apparently that's what dogs want to do. There we go. That is how a dog fight is supposed to go. I've been having really bad luck in them though. So now we got all the Satomi power orbs. So we basically beat all the dogs that we need to beat. So we're gonna go back to Kusa Village to go into the dungeon there. Luckily, Kusa Village has an origin mirror we can warp to. So we travel all the way up. So this game is full of movement things. It likes to get you around the place. I'm gonna jump like that. Those jumps save like half a second, but worth it. I'm gonna go into Fusei's house. All the dogs here. Apparently talking to Fusei stores your speed. So that's nice. We don't have to jump towards her or anything. And we could just go into the dungeon, which is down here. So those orbs flying around us are the 8 Satomi power orbs, which we needed to get into the dungeon. Well, technically not really, but since we need the brush power of Crescent anyway, it's fast. You just have to do this quest, so it doesn't really matter. This is Guild Shrine. So in any percent we skip doing this and we just do 100 KTs, which is crazy. But here we just go through it normally, quote unquote. Yeah, talk to him. So once again, I'm trying to stay in the air while going through loading zones and cutscenes, so I can store speed, like this. This is the interior. It's honestly a pretty nice place. I'm gonna go to the right here, because there's a lock a little bit later on, and we need a key for that. And We can find that by defeating this demon gate. Let me just quickly defeat that enemy. Oh, I already got the second hit in as well. Charge up speed. I got full speed, nice. And then the key magically appears, which is nice. Now we're gonna grab it like that while we're restoring speed. And then we're gonna go and fuck that key. So a funny thing about keys is if you drop them and you walk away far enough, they appear back into your mouth. I don't know why, I don't know how, it just works. I'll take it. And that is the lock I was talking about. And then we have this elevator. So you're supposed to go up one level, then down all the way, then up 2 levels. But we're gonna skip doing that, because that takes a long time to do. Instead, we're gonna use our trusty friend, the KT. Seems to be going a little bit better. So I'm looking for a certain platform to appear. Nice fan lag. There it is. And we're gonna jump towards it. The fun thing about floors in this game is that through almost any floor in the game, except like 1 or 2 places we found out recently, we can clip through them, basically. Certain areas of this specific floor is one of those places where we can't clip through it, and now we're on top of it. And we get this nice little cutscene of the giant windmill. So at 80% we just jump up all the way here, and it takes forever. Yeah, so bad. Still not completely used to doing this quickly. I recently tried learning that, but I'm having a lot of troubles with it. And then we get a new brush power. Guess which it is. Oh, that worked. Wow. One of those stars was not supposed to be working. So with this brush power we can summon wind, which we need to be able to finish the game. Basically, that's one of the only reasons we get it. And because it's in the definition of this category, of course. Now we're gonna just jump down here. Because who needs to go all the way down normally? We actually can't go normally because there's a lock there, so if we didn't have KTs we would be soft locked right now. We can just jump down all the way back here. Which is nice. And then we're gonna leave this place without defeating the boss. Because, I don't really care much for that boss. It's kind of a pushover, really. And we can just leave it. Yeah, there we go. And then we're gonna go to the next area of the game. So now we're gonna go to a certain place where we're supposed to get use the serpent crystal, which we would have gotten from this dungeon for defeating the boss. But since we skipped that, we're gonna do some fancy stuff while we're there. But this is a bit of movement. I guess I'll explain how I got into running this game. So I've been playing this game for like forever, ever since it came out on the PS2. And I love the game. I played it once every year. And then like half a year ago, the 12-hour speedrun challenge came along and I was like, hey, let's try and do a run of this. Which was honestly a pretty bad idea because learning a one-frame trick you're gonna use throughout the run is really hard. Took me 3 hours to actually, no, it took me 1.5 hours to actually be able to perform the trick at all. So that was pretty crazy. And ever since then, I've been running this on and off, and I actually held the world record for this specific category for a little bit, until the god of Okami speedrunning, L Eternal Darkness, beat me. And he currently holds all the world records. He is crazy good at this game. So here we have the Moon Cave. Now the Moon Cave is my least favorite place. This sounds weird, but it's my favorite, one of my favorite places because the routing in New Game Plus is absolutely crazy. I really love it, but it's really hard to perform. Like, you have to do a lot of KTs, and some of them have to be pretty precise and really annoying. So that barrier we can't go through unless we have the Serpent Crystal. So we're just gonna jump over it. That's 4. That's perfect KTs, nice. And we fall into the cutscene. There's supposed to be a lot of story before we can go into this, but we skipped all of that. So yeah, about the story, I'm skipping through most of it, so almost everything I'm doing is spoiler-free, almost. If you ever want to play the game for the story, because the story is amazingly beautiful and really well made. I cried like a baby at the end. It's a really cool game. So, this is Moon Cave. Well, we start off in Calcified Cavern. You're supposed to grab a imp mask to get through those guards, but we're just gonna jump around them. So I'm needing to do KTs and turning the camera at the same time. It's kind of annoying. So I don't have hands enough for that, really. Also because the way I do KTs doesn't free up my hands properly. And there we go. So now we're in Moon Cave. Now in Moon Cave you're supposed to collect 4 ingredients before we can leave again. The only reason we ever enter here is because we need a brush power, which is in here. Well, we don't need it to finish the game, but this is all brushes, so we need to collect it. And to be able to get out again, we have to defeat the boss of this dungeon. And to be able to defeat him, we have to collect 4 ingredients, which are all quite horrifying, but we'll get to that. What you're supposed to do is go into the kitchen, save the chef, and then we go into the quest. However, we're gonna do everything almost completely backwards. The only thing we kind of do in order is this first ingredient, but after that it's just all over the place where we're gonna go. So we're gonna go over here. If we fall into the purple water, it's not good for us. It's kind of like poisoned. We're gonna do a little bit of a skip here. We can cut it from here. Saves us time while we're falling down. It's pretty nice. Now we get into a fight here. Now we're gonna cheese it, because we like cheesing fights. And then we get a chest from that, and in this chest is our first ingredient, which is the ogre liver. Like I said, they're quite horrifying. Or rather disgusting. Why would you eat an ogre liver, please? I'm gonna go back here. And then the fun of Moon Cave is going to start. What I like to say about Moon Cave is... Welcome to Moon Cave, where the walls don't matter and the ceilings are made up. So, the entire map of Moon Cave is in one place, as you can see. So we can just jump around, out of bounds, through the entirety of Moon Cave and go from one place to the next to quickly gather all the ingredients we need. So here we have a statue of a phoenix, which is frozen, which is not very good. So we're gonna unfreeze it by killing a monster. Or a demon, rather. I've been calling them monsters, but they're actually called demons. So now the statue is thawed, and we get a new brush power. So this is the only reason why we have to enter this place. And it causes a 10-minute split, basically. We get Inferno, or Fireburst, I think. I think it's Fireburst, I don't know. Oh no. Oh no, this is Inferno. It basically allows us to control fire like that. Fireburst is something we get later, that's its upgrade. So we're gonna go back here. There's a fight here, but we never trigger it. Because we're just gonna jump straight up. And back into the main hall. So because we collected an ingredient, a certain thing has appeared that allows us to backtrack more easily. Well, we're gonna use it to forward track more easily, as it were. So we're gonna go into it. And we're gonna go to the next vine. I tend to get stuck here, but it's fine, because we can just go to the next vine. And then we're gonna jump again. Oh wow, another blind KT, that's really nice. I tend to have to do this specific KT without being able to see Ami, which makes it a lot harder. You call those blind KTs. And you basically have to go off a field, so I'm actually kind of happy I don't have to do that. I certainly am not trusting my KTs right now. Even though they've become a lot better. So here we go into this demon gate. And we choose to fight again. So we can get our next ingredient. Which is a black demon horn. It's a normal ingredient, everyone uses it, right? And then we're gonna go out of bounds again. Because staying in bounds it's way too mainstream. We're hipsters like that. I'm gonna go to this area, which takes a while to load. Or rather, we need to be close enough to load it. And we're gonna go into this. And we get to meet the fire wheel, or the eye wheel, I don't know what it's called. If I call it the eye wheel, I'll probably get sued by Apple, so let's not call it that. And then we get the next item, which is the eyeball of fire, which is really tasty, I hear. And then we're gonna go out of bounds again. Because who likes to stay out of inbounds, dude? Oh, I'm way too far forward with this. Okay, we're good. So now we're finally gonna go back into the place where we're supposed to go when we entered this place. If I can KT, it might involve water or something. Doesn't seem like there's water there though. One more KT for safety. I did have to do this specific KT, but because I got a little low, I did it anyways. So we're supposed to save the chef here, but we're gonna go into this place first. I'll fight off these ice lips. I think they're called that. I really don't know the demon names properly. And we're gonna get the lips of ice. So now we have all 4 ingredients. So we can finally save the chef, who has been cooking in his pots the entire time. There we go. Hello. Don't think he's too happy with that. I'm gonna talk to him, so... You're supposed to get the quest from him right now, but we already finished that quest. Now, fun thing, that bell, you're supposed to hit it 8 times. And what most people do is they'll headbutt into it, but you can just power slashes from a distance and it goes way faster. And also causes a fun little thing to happen during this cutscene. So that is Orochi's appetizer, that is the demon boss of this place. And we're just gonna go up with it, why not? Whee! Sadly, however, this does not mean we actually enter the boss. We fall down in it. But it's pretty funny. I like it a lot. And then we're gonna go. So this next boss is pretty awesome. It is an 8-headed dragon, basically, sorta. And the strats for it are pretty cool. I like them a lot. Mostly because, well, I've done quite a bit of work on them. After, like, someone else found a cool strat on a different version of this boss, I basically tried to apply them to this boss. Actually, no, Darkness did that. Never mind, I tried to speed things up in it. He was slower. Aha. Yeah, I'm trying to take credit here when I should just shut my face right now. Would be the wiser choice. So we're just running into the arena here. We could KT up there, but it's way, way slower because of giant invisible walls. At first we can't do much against him because it has this barrier up. So now we have to wait for him to do an attack. Then we get a cutscene. So we taking damage doesn't really matter to us at all. Holy shit, the lag. It's gonna be fun during True Orochi. So we make him unconscious like that. And for some reason that triggers the other heads to do stuff. Usually when heads do things, other heads can't do things. But for some reason when Earth does that attack and is unconscious like that, the other heads will do things. I have no idea how it works. For some reason it does. So what we're doing here is we're pouring sake into the heads' mouths to make them drunk, so we can get rid of the barrier. So again, I'm taking a lot of damage, but I don't have health. I can't die at all, so it doesn't matter at all. So now the barrier's gone. We still have to use a slip to quickly deal damage to it. And now we can go and kill it. We're supposed to do all these weird things, but we're kind of overpowered with the string of beads. So we just jump around and shoot them down one by one. There we go. That's how you do it. Sadly, we can't finish it off. We have to have Susanoo's help for that. That's kind of the end of Susanoo's story arc, which is pretty awesome. Good. Will ever give in to evil. So we chop off all the heads, and Susanoo's gonna kill the last one for us with an awesome technique. So now you're supposed to go over to city checkpoint and lower the bridge and do all the stuff, but we kind of skipped doing that, so we're gonna do something else. So now the Kamiki Festival is going on. It's a really nice festival, really. Some cool stuff going on, but I don't like festivals that much. We're just gonna leave. I mean, they're nice and all, but so many people. So we're gonna leave the village. And for some reason, leaving the village makes it day. Guess that makes sense. And then we got Miss Sexy Pants. Hello, Miss Sexy Pants. Goodbye, Miss Sexy Pants. That is actually the guardian spirit of Kamiki Village, but we never actually meet her properly until just now. And then we're gonna go to this demon gate. You're supposed to have a lot of cutscenes about demon gates here, but because we've already dealt with the demon gate, the game's like, oh, you already did that. Okay, guess I don't have to play cutscenes then. Which is pretty nice. Nice, good spawn. I kind of know the timing on the spawn of these guys, so I can quickly kill them. And defeating this demon gate gives us another mermaid spring, which we're gonna use to warp to Ryushima Coast, right outside Siam, the big city. So we're gonna hold up, not down. And while we're in here, we're just gonna go to the next area instantly. So the way you're supposed to do this is like complete a couple of story things and then ask Queen Himiko for a key. Queen Himiko is the ruler of this land, but we can just jump over the gate and enter northern Ryushima Coast. Or North Ryo. I like to switch between Rio and Ryo for some reason. I don't know why. So here we have Waka, who's like saying, oh, you're so slow, I already bloomed the whole thing. Well, I tried my best. It took me 1 hour and 20 minutes to get here. Try and be faster next time. When we get that nose, you're supposed to have a certain brush power to be able to defeat him, but for some reason a slip works too, so good stuff. And we're gonna talk to this merchant real quick. And we're gonna buy a marlin rod, which we're gonna use a little bit later to catch ourselves a marlin. So here we have a grown man being bullied by 3 kids, and we're gonna break that up so we can summon Orca. Chat is probably gonna be spammed with Orca Z's now, so be prepared for that. This is Orca. He is a dolphin called Orca. And he is the fastest sea creature alive, and that is the water dragon. The water dragon is annoying. He can troll me by getting close to me and hitting me. But I got lucky here, he went all the way to the left, so he won't hit me. The water dragon has been terrorizing these lands lately, and we kind of have to fix that, but to do that we have to go to the Dragonian Palace. But first we're gonna go over here, go into this area to get our first upgrade for Cherry Bomb. So there's this spring here, this money well, and we're gonna put some money in that. There. So we have a lot of money from our previous playthrough, so a little early on the start button there. And then we get an upgrade to our Cherry Bomb ability. So now we can have 2 bombs at the same time on the field, which is nice. I couldn't do that at first. I'll probably be using it maybe once or twice when I fail a Cherry Bomb. I'll definitely be using it once to get to the next Cherry Bomb upgrade, because you need that. And then I'm gonna go back to Orca. Okay, that was horrible movement. I'm gonna go to this island next. Damn. Can I cut that? Thank you. Nice. Didn't get that feedback. If I got that feedback, my menu would have been screwed. And that would not be nice. But here we're gonna dump more money into a well. We're big spenders like that. All the money to flaunt. And with that, we will upgrade our power slash. So now we can cut through harder things, basically. Again, we need this to be able to get the next upgrade. It's also used in the game here and there to get certain things, but we won't be using it specifically anywhere else. We can basically do everything else with the normal power slash just as well. And now we're gonna travel a little bit. And the thing about Orca that I didn't explain, the way you move faster on Orca, you see that on the bottom left, is you press X. However, when you press X once, it'll go slow again. It doesn't work with holding. So I'm constantly mashing the X button right now to be able to go fast. It's somewhat annoying, but we can deal with it. So now we're gonna jump up here. And then this guy is gonna steal our marlin rod, because he's a dick. And we're just gonna watch him fish, I guess. Oh, that's horrible spawns. Let's see if we can get the blowfish. That's a starfish. So fishing is actually really deep in this game. We don't really go into it that much, because we only need it for 2 story elements, really. We're fishing right here, right now, to be able to get the upgrade for a certain brush power later. So this is kind of set up for later. Sadly, we didn't get a blowfish, so this run is officially dead. So this is the marlin. He's kind of a pain. I need to be careful of my health right now. With other fishes, I don't have to be that, but this fish is really hard. Your pain bar goes up really quickly. Luckily, I got a quick cycle, so we're done with this marlin. That was pretty fast. Okay, next, I think we're gonna go to the Dragon Palace now and fix our water dragon problem. For that, I needed to be night. Fun thing about being on Orca, while you're on Orca, it doesn't change night for some reason. And the moment you get off, it changes into night. Okay, nice. There's a cutscene. So the way you're supposed to get up here is by using a certain brush power on the other side of this bit, and then get up there, but we have infinite jumps, so we could just jump up here. We draw a star for him, he makes a wish, and he wishes this giant constellation back into existence. It's called the Whirlpool Galaxy. However, it needs to spin. For some reason, if we use wind, here on Earth, the galaxy will spin. Supreme logic, ladies and gentlemen. Supreme logic. That's how it works in the real world, right? And then we're gonna go off here. Task Orca. Nice. Lately I've been getting good at doing that. And then we're gonna go into the whirlpool that appeared in the middle of this place, which will lead us to the Dragon Palace. which is a really beautiful place where we can skip a lot again. I like skipping things. So you're supposed to go inside and talk to Otohime, who is the queen of this place. And it's a really long cutscene, so I'd rather not bother. We can skip it, but it's annoying. So we're just gonna go over here. Dang, playing this with headphones, I'm noticing a lot more sounds than I usually do. So this is why we needed that specific technique to be able to dig through things. It's to open up this digging game. Now the way you're supposed to do this digging game is you're supposed to fall all the way down here and then go back up. However, for some reason, if we press the jump button on the first frame, we can jump, and by doing that we can jump over the area and go down instantly. Makes the thing go a little bit faster. Saves about a minute. Oh, that's the wrong thing. To do that. To do this. Let's put it down here now. Oops. Okay, just in time. She hit those spikes, she'll be knocked down for a moment. That takes a while. And then we dig here. And then we get our water back. However, there's something wrong with it. As per usual. Because it's supposed to... what did she say? Like it's supposed to twirly-whirly or something like that? So just run around quickly and hope it works. Guess we have to help them out and actually do the job. So this is the upgrade for Water Spout. This allows us to use these mermaid springs without having to use mermaid coins. It's slightly faster to use that because we don't have to go into the menu for it. So that's nice. So now we're gonna jump to the other side of the Dragon Palace. Because we still have this water dragon problem we need to fix. And of course, we're gonna do that out of bounds. Nice look of the water dragon from underneath. Looks quite small, really. So we basically just jumped into his mouth. And now we are inside the dragon, which is strangely a pretty beautiful place. But it can be quite deceiving because this is one of the biggest rage moments of the run if we get unlucky. This game has barely any RNG in the entire run, and this is one of those moments, and it can lose you a bunch of time, and I suck. That was all me. That was nothing, had nothing to do with the game. That was really bad. I hope I still have speed. I'm not completely sure though. Okay, that's also bad. Nice. So yeah, all this water stuff can be kind of annoying to deal with it. You're supposed to be on top of this so you can jump off quicker, but I derped and I lost speed as well. Great. So a fun thing about this area, you're supposed to go all the way to the back and release stomach acid. This stomach acid you're supposed to draw into that orb you see there at the back. However, for some reason they coded it as just using Water Spout on it. So we can do the same thing with water. So as you can see, we are slowly breaking down, if I can actually do it, breaking down the things that are holding that orb. You're supposed to do that with acid, but for some reason, normal water works too. Programmers are so lazy sometimes. We run in instantly, so we can just mash start for a bit to skip a couple of cutscenes. Usually you wait for the orb to fall down and then skip that cutscene and then run in and then go for another cutscene, but you can just do all that in one go. So we fight against the Foxrots, or the Foxfires here, I'm not really sure what they're called. It's a really annoying fight to do because they can suck up your ink and make your powers useless. Luckily though, we can just use slips. And now we have the weapon of the enemy. Ooh. And now this happens. The dragon is slowly dying because we ripped out the orb. Now all these acid drops you see falling down are completely RNG. They are dodgeable when we can see them on the ground, but we can't dodge them while we're jumping like this. So if we get unlucky, which we didn't, but I suck anyways, we get hit by them while we're jumping. Like that, for instance. It's really annoying, it loses you a bunch of time when you get hit, and it's one of the few RNG moments of this run. It doesn't lose you that much time, luckily, but it's still very annoying. So we killed the water dragon, because, well, he was a problem, so we had to kill him. In the meantime, by the way, we gave the weapon of the enemy to that lovely lady we gave the slips to a lot earlier. Nothing can go wrong with that, right? So now we're gonna go to Queen Otohime. We don't have to see her other cutscene. We only get to see the cutscene of returning the orb to her. And then at the final moment, the orb shows us that lovely lady from earlier being attacked by a giant demon. So we need to go find her and see if she's safe. So we get this music, which makes it all ooh. So we're supposed to go to her temple right now, Ankuko Temple. Good English. But I think I know a better place where we can find her. Also, I'm gonna show a fun little thing you can do with KTs in a bit. So you can bite animals to hold them and drag them, and something really funny happens when you switch KTs while doing that. So we're gonna, let's see, here's some horses. We're gonna switch his KT. Whee! So, quick little thing I like showing during marathons. It's completely useless for the run, but it's a fun little glitch you can do. It works on almost every big animal. I'm not sure if it works on the smaller ones, but I don't know. So yeah, those walls you see there are Ankuko Temple. But like I said, I think I know a better place to find our lovely lady. Or a Gal, or Busty Babe if you like to call her that. So we're gonna go up here. Oh damn. I got this cutscene, it's so bad. That cutscene is basically telling you that you're bad. So we make it night here. For some reason, don't ask me how, don't ask me why, we are now Moses. I said, don't ask me! And boom. The water drains. But only in that circle. We are a very specific Moses. I'm gonna try and save speed here. It's probably gonna fail. It did. Cool. Tends to happen a lot there. It's hard to keep your speed in certain areas. So now we can enter the spooky ship, or as I like to call it, the spoopy ship. Or sunken ship, to be very exact, but it's spoopy. This giant barrier we can't do anything about. Oh no, hey! It's Busty Babe, you're fine. Nice, good to know. Thought you were being attacked by a giant demon. Oh, guess you're fine. Kill those guys with her slips. So the slips, basically, you can use them to hit certain barriers or weird ghost demons that will hold you back, basically. It's weird. This is a weird area. So this area is kind of annoying as well. So we are basically gonna skip almost everything. We just skipped about 75% of this dungeon. You're not supposed to get up here without doing a couple of puzzles and a couple of fights. But you can simply jump right over there with KTs. It's actually also possible to do that without KTs. You have to do very specific jumps, but you can actually do this same skip, which is really awesome. New game is a pretty cool run. The only sad thing is that it's on Wii, and the Wii port is absolutely horrible. If you're ever gonna play this game casually, don't play it on the Wii. Like, it is so bad. It's such a horrible port. You'll basically struggle more with the controls than the actual game, which is a mark of a bad port, because the game itself is awesome. So here we get held back by this skull, and we get the lucky mallet, which we're gonna use a little later on. Well, we're gonna use it very soon, actually. We're gonna leave the sunken ship right now. And we got the music back. Yay! Love me some music. It's gonna disappear soon though, sadly. So here we are getting chased by the water dragon that we killed a moment ago. Shows you how much we've been sequence breaking. And we're gonna get eaten by him again. And for some reason we end up on the shore here. So the lucky mallet shows us to go to the left, but it's actually faster to go here, because we still have a story element about our lovely lady getting chased by a giant demon. So we still have to finish that. So we're gonna go through here. We do it like this to skip a certain set of cutscenes. So we only get one cutscene, which is this one right here. So that is our lovely lady. It's like a ghost. For some reason she can go through walls. I guess it's a ghost. And for some reason there's a hole here and a well. So we're gonna jump into the well. And right as we enter this area, you see that little purple thing on the right? That is the lovely lady's body. She is dead. Well, that's kind of sad. And here we are right at Queen Himiko's palace. For some reason we have a shortcut here. We're not gonna enter it though, we're gonna do some KTs. And these are quite annoying, because half of the time we cannot see Amy. But they went really well. And we're gonna follow the lucky mallet here. I think he can give us some lucky things. So what the lucky mallet can do is shrink us down all the way to go really small into this little hole here. So we're gonna get hammered. Bring out the beer, boys. But we're gonna skip the hammering part, sadly. So now we're really small. Pay close attention. I'm gonna be performing a glitch, and I'll be explaining it later. Blink and you'll miss it. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. This is Mist Warp. So, you're supposed to go through a really big part of this dungeon, quote-unquote dungeon, to get through this area, and then we cut down this pot. But for some reason, when you enter the area, the pot is already loaded, and we can cut it from anywhere. So by doing a very precise power slash, we can basically, the moment we enter and we get control over the game, we can cut the pot, and we gain this ability, which is called Mist, which slows down everything. And I have that. There we go. So that is a really cool thing that we've been working on for a very long time to get consistent at. And that is probably the most consistent we have gotten it. Like, just like that, first try, easy peasy. Sadly, there's a cutscene here, so we're gonna walk around it for a bit. And then we're gonna do our favorite thing in this game. We're gonna go out of bounds. So once again, if I can actually KT, this is gonna be really annoying for this next section. Interior areas are below the map. You can see the pot there, you can see it already being loaded. So here we do unbuffered KTs, because we need to fall down a lot anyways, but we also need to travel quite forward. So if you miss a KT, it doesn't really matter if we fall down at all. So I don't really buffer them. It's faster anyways to not buffer them. It saves like 0.8 of a second every time I do a KT. Which is nice. But we have so much space to just fall down in that we're not gonna buffer them. It's going actually pretty decently well. I was expecting it to go way, way worse. So this feels kind of weird to me because I've been buffering KTs for a very long time. And that was Fenlag. Lately I've been having a lot of trouble with this section, not being able to get the bufferless KTs down. I'm gonna do one more, and then we're gonna drop down a bit. So we want to go forwards as far as we can until we drop down. So, by the way, a thing. When we entered this area, we were outside. Just in a plain old area. Now we are inside of a body. We literally jumped from the outside, out of bounds, into someone's body. When you play the game, this makes a little bit more sense, but... yes. Some people have compared this game to being a vor fetish. I can see why. So here we defeat the boss Blight really quickly. Just like that. And then we get the best part of this run. Emperor movement tech. The way you're supposed to go through this is by holding it and then you get this. But you can do this and it's way faster. And it's really funny. It's the best part of this run, dude. And then we free up this lovely lady here. So many lovely ladies in this game. And then we're done with this part. We do not like to save the game, because that's slow. We're gonna quickly buy us a Traveler Charm. This is for later. This is the point where I usually ask chat if they could help me remember to sell the Holy Bone. This time I'm gonna ask you. When we're at the bridge, help me remind me that I need to sell the Holy Bone. Chat is probably gonna be spamming it for a while, so don't worry about it. The problem is I can't see chat right now. It's kind of become a meme in my channel because I tended to forget the Holy Bone, and at one point I just told myself, let's just freaking ask chat and ask them if they can help remind me. So now they tend to spam it a lot. Yeah. So next up I'm going to do another liquid KT. I haven't done one in a long time. This time over lava, so if I fail it, I basically... it hurts. And there we go. Solid. Because the camera angle is kind of weird there, the lava skip, as we call it, is pretty weird to do. For some reason you can do it from way higher than you think you can, so story-wise, our other lovely lady, Busty Babe, is apparently the evil lord of who wants to rule over this area. And she has killed Queen Himiko, which is a problem. We're gonna go to her evil lair, Oni Island, right now. And we're gonna beat her there. Nice. Freaking aced it. I'm not Kaiserado confirmed. So, about the Holy Bone that I'm going to sell soon, it takes up a space in your inventory, and it's kind of annoying because it basically takes up the space for where your slips are supposed to be, so you can accidentally use it, and you can't use it because you're full health. The game checks for that. And it also messes up KTs in some places, so selling it basically saves us not that much time, but it saves us enough time that it's worth it to quickly do it. So yeah, this is the last time you see that bridge. We will never raise it, ever. No one can get into that part of this place. Oh, I need to sell it. Actually, was kind of forgetting to sell it here. We do some shopping. And then we're out. There we go. And then we're gonna go to the evil lair. So, the main reason why we want to go to the lair of this guy is, well, not really to advance the plot, because we can actually go to the end of the game already, it doesn't really matter. But we need a brush power, which is called Thunderstorm. And to do that, we're gonna skip half of the dungeon, because we like skipping half of dungeons. KT back up here. That. Nice. Good business. Then we're gonna quickly go to this part of Watcher's Cave, which our lovely lady Queen Otohimoi now turns into the Water Dragon again, and allows us to go to Oni Island, which is nice. It's really nice of her to do that for us. Issun is like, are we ready? Of course we're ready. Freaking Navi. So the way you're supposed to go through this is using the fire tablet, but we never got that, so we're just gonna skip doing that. We're just gonna KT over here, and we're gonna go on the outside. The way you're supposed to go through here is by a very long, through the dungeon, and it's a really big maze with really cool, a lot of cool stuff going on inside of it. But like I said, we're gonna skip a lot. And we're just gonna walk on the outside here. So on these platforms, what I'm trying to do when I land here is instantly jump without my speed showing up. I do this to be able to skip using KTs at the end here, because I don't drop down, because when you go on these slopes, you will slide down, all the way down, like that. I'm trying to avoid having that happen to me. I'm pretty good on height right now. Yeah, I'm perfect. Just need to keep green hopping. And then we're gonna rejuve this arrow. I lied again. All the way at the start of the game. We're gonna get our next brush power, which is Thunderstorm. Or Thunderstruck, if you prefer. And guess what it does? I didn't get lucky. We can control lightning now. That's pretty cool. So once again, when we enter this area, most of the dungeon is on one place. It's on one map. I'm not completely sure how what the layout looks like, because a lot of it refuses to load unless you're close. But we're gonna go out of bounds anyways. And go to this section. And straight into this loading zone. I know that this part of the map is not inside the same area. This is a 2D section, where you're technically still in 3D. It's somewhat annoying. The game likes to do that a bunch. And then we're just gonna go up here. You're supposed to go all the way around, and you're supposed to use a certain brush power that we never got here. The game expects you to have it, because otherwise you couldn't get up and watch escape. But we got this cool infinite jump glitch. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. That's good. Grab this key so we can progress further. So we already have the brush power we need here. But once again, we cannot leave this place without beating the boss. Well, technically it's possible, but as far as I know, it's really hard and or causes a soft lock to happen, and it's not worth doing. We go up here. Let's see if I can get a one cycle on these discs. Each disc goes faster the higher you get. Ah, I failed it. Yeah, this is gonna take forever now. If you go quickly on the first one, you're able to one cycle these, but sadly I went way too early and didn't get in. So now I have to wait on every single cycle. Wow. Or we just play horribly. That is also a thing we could do. That was abysmal. Okay, so now we're gonna go over here. I'm gonna skip a lot of stuff again. Those things over there are stairs. They're part of a certain race you're doing throughout the entire dungeon here, with the best character in this entire game. I'm gonna, wow, just missed here. If I could have gotten over these spikes, that would have been nice. Now I have to get hit, and this is gonna take forever. That was bad. I could have saved speed here, but this is Toby. He likes to race with us. Oh my god. Okay. That was bad. We basically need to race with him so we can get to this area of the game. And then we're just gonna jump into this loading zone. Right here. So we can get to the final boss. Could you maybe grab my bottle of water? Thank you. So the final boss of this area is Ninetales. She thinks she's one of the brush gods, so we first have to draw her constellation. Thank you. Getting really thirsty here. And her fight is kind of annoying. We have to hit her once, and then we draw thunder. And she splits up into multiple bits, which we all have to kill. Oh, that's way better. We wait a bit, and we do it again. So on the first cycle, we're trying to look for the fat guy, and this time we're looking for the old guy, or woman rather. Because they take 2 hits rather than just 1 slip. Now she's back to her old wolf form. We're just gonna mash and finish her off quickly. And that was Ninetales. Game asks us if we want to save, and we don't. So next up we're gonna do some cleanup over here. We can technically finish the game by now, but we still need to get all the brush powers and their upgrades, so we're gonna go over here into this quaint restaurant, which has a giant marlin, which we caught earlier. And this weird cat-like chef is going to make us something nice, but he needs our help. And that is Whirlwind, which is the upgrade to Gilstorm. It basically creates this weird whirlwind thing that deals damage to all enemies in the area for a while. Just, you don't use it. But. And he creates this beautiful food with it for some reason. And then we're gonna leave. We're done here. Oh, you can do so many things with the people. You can, if you summon like a Gilstorm, they will have to like go against the wind. Like they almost get blown away, and when you use certain abilities on them, they're like, hey, what's going on? Or like when you draw circles around them, they're like, wow, so cool, and stuff like that. It's like you can really interact with the people in ways other than just talking to them, which is really fun in this game. And when I was playing this casual, I actually didn't know that a certain set of peoples you can change from dog to person. And I didn't know you could do that until somebody told me during speedrunning. So this bit of KTing is kind of hard. You can't KT above water. We can use Orca as land, basically. So we can basically go up there quickly, which is nice. And this is Catcall Tower, which is going to destroy my thumb. We are gonna climb that entire thing. We're not gonna use KTs for that, because that would actually be slower. We're actually gonna do it the intended way. It's amazing, right? Doing stuff intended. So I'm gonna be quiet for a bit, because I do like to focus during this. So what I basically do, I press X to be able to cling to the wall, and then I press X again to be able to jump off. So every time I land, I basically mash X for a little bit, like tap it a couple of times. So we can jump up like this the whole way. And it really destroys my thumb because I hold the controller pretty badly, honestly. Ah damn, too far away. So when I jump off, I actually hold back on the analog stick. And that, so I can do a double jump instead of like clinging to the wall again. And during my double jump, I hold forward again so I can cling to the wall again. And we can only like cling to the walls that have these weird cat paws on them. Like here we just get a normal wall jump, which is useful to quickly gain horizontal movement, to do horizontal movement with. If you get on top of one of these discs, you get that cutscene. It's kind of sad because that was a really awesome cutscene if I could skip that. If you go up here without landing at all, without getting that cutscene, you will get the chest to a stray beat. But I already collected those, so it would basically be an empty chest. It's like this whole cutscene like, oh my god, you found an empty chest! Which is pretty funny. I like getting that. So this is the cause of all that meowing, whatever, you've been hearing for a while now. It's just a lonely little cat, just wanting some fish, so we're gonna give that to him. And now she leaves us, or he leaves us, I don't know what it is. And because of that, we get a constellation. Actually can't see the points, but I know exactly where they are, so just draw them quickly. This gives us the catwalk ability. So whenever you see one of those statues, they're starting glowing right now, we can draw those paw prints you saw earlier all around the tower here, which is pretty fun. You can basically climb walls, but we already have a really awesome glitch that does that for us, so it's kind of useless. The only reason why we get it is because this is all brushes. We need to get all the brush powers. So we're gonna leave here now for a bit. And we're gonna go back to Shinshin. So a lot earlier, when we saved the Emperor, we bought a Traveler's Charm. That was set up for what's coming up next. I'm gonna jump over this river. Nice. So by using the Traveler's Charm, we can fix up that guy over there. Like that. And we are going to race him. He has this giant exclamation mark. Oh, that's a long thing to do. So now we race him. And we're gonna do that 3 times. Basically cut him off here, and then you have to dash like that. I was kind of slow on the zooming in of the camera there. By chasing a day, he respawns and we can talk to him again. To do the next race. Now he spawns these weird things. They hurt you, so cutting him off makes us completely dodge those. And then we talk to him again. And we do our last race, where he spawns even more of those things. And there we go. And at the end of that, he gives us the gimmick gear, which we are going to use in a small while, like a few minutes, to get a brush upgrade. So now we're gonna go back to Scion City to basically clean up. This is our cleanup moment before we finish the game, or sort of finish the game. That's the wrong direction, whatever. Let's just go with it. That's bad menu. So first we're gonna go back into Queen Himiko's palace. There are no restrictions to us there now because we saved the world, quote unquote. Yeah, okay, cool getting stuff there. But and this is the grave, these are the gravestones of Queen Himiko, but they're kind of dirty, so I'm gonna clean them up for them. Like that. I do it kind of slowly because I'm bad. And that gives us the Deluge upgrade, which basically allows us to summon a lot of rain. Also, for the people who know, this is going to be the last time you see Fat Emmy. Hahaha. I hate that skin that I was using for a bit, Fat Emmy, because the bark is horrible. It's kind of a meme. Now we're gonna KT up here. You're supposed to use catwalk, like you see those statues over there, to get up on this little clock tower. But we have this really cool glitch. We're just gonna enter here. So this is why we needed the Gamma Gear. He wants it, so we're gonna give it to him. Bit of unskippable cutscene. Talking about unskippable cutscenes, why do we run this game in English and not Japanese, for instance? Actually, we all got the Japanese version for certain new game runs, and the Japanese version apparently, apparently I timed it myself, is 26 seconds faster than the English version based on unskippable text. However, we don't use it. And the main reason why we don't use it is because the KT timing, like the timing we need to press the square button to get our jump, is 1 or 2 frames, I think just only 1 frame earlier than on English version. And it is a pain to get used to. Like, I've tried for like a couple of weeks to get used to it, and I could never do it. It is so hard to do. Because you're used to this one specific moment where you press, and now you have to get used to a very different moment. So yeah. That is the main reason why we never use, why we're not using the Japanese version. And honestly, we kind of feel like the 26 seconds, no, they're worth it in a sense, but not that worth it. So now I'm gonna go into this restaurant. We like going to restaurants apparently. And we're gonna give this guy the golden mushroom. Do you guys remember that? That was from, well, about 15 minutes into the run. We got the golden mushroom. And now we're finally using it to get our upgrade. Which is Fire Burst, which creates this giant fireball that deals damage to everything. It's a pretty cool ability. So now we're done with cleanup in this part of the game. We're gonna leave this part now, and we're gonna go to the final area, where we still need to do a couple of things. So I know I haven't been talking about the story anymore. Mainly is because we've been playing outside of the story a lot. We've been using the story to get to certain points where we needed to go to get brush powers, but really we're just messing with the story. The next part of the story is going into, well, the final area, where we will do a lot of where casually you're supposed to do a lot of stuff, but we're basically gonna skip about everything. We're gonna skip just 90% of the final area, which is pretty cool because that means that a lot of the story of the end won't get spoiled, guys. So if you're ever gonna play it, well, some things will get spoiled, especially how like the final area is going to be, but the end of the story is definitely not really going to be spoiled. So by using Lightning Storm, we can open this. We can actually go into this loading zone without doing that anyways, but it's faster to do it like this, even with this pretty long cutscene. At least I think it's faster. I don't know. I've been doing it like this all my life. So this is a tunnel which leads us to the final area of the game. We can luckily restore our speed through here. This place is called Kamui. As you can see, it's pretty cold. You can basically say this is like Japanese, this is comparable to Hokkaido, especially if you look at the map, which looks like Japan. In fact, this entire world is called Nippon anyways, which is Japan in Japanese. It's pretty funny. So we're gonna go out of bounds here. We're gonna skip a fight and a lot of cutscenes by doing this. We're also gonna bloom the tree a very non-intended way. You're supposed to, like, you see that archer over there? You're supposed to guide lightning to its arrow to break that giant rock. But since we're out of bounds anyways, we're just going to go under here and we're gonna bloom the tree from here. Like that. So you can see like a little bit of the blossom of the tree through the rock. And then the rock disappears. Because that's what rocks do. So now we can go to the rest of this place. So here's a fight trigger. We're gonna jump over it. In any percent, this is actually a soft lock if we get inside the fight trigger, because we do not have a specific brush power. But because this is all brushes, we have all the brush powers anyways, so it doesn't matter. That was a global bomb. Luckily I can roll another one. So we need to have Cherry Bomb 2 to enter this area. And maybe I shouldn't push that bomb away. That was bad. And we get into another spring. Nice. We're gonna dump a bunch of money again. Because we're big spenders. And I guess you can kind of guess what we're getting here. We're getting the next upgrade for Cherry Bomb, which allows us to draw 3 bombs now, which we are never going to use. Ever. Because who needs 3 bombs when you got slips to kill everything in one go? So you're supposed to do like a big amount of story in the next area we're going to, like the village back here. But as I was saying, we're just gonna skip all that. So nothing is really going to get spoiled except the place itself. We're just gonna enter the village. It's going to be like completely empty and stuff like that. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to talk to some guy, and then you go all the way back. You're supposed to talk to someone else, and then you can go up and you can talk to someone again, and then you can finally get to a certain area. So you can go to another area, which causes a big part of the story to happen. But we're not gonna go through that other area. We're gonna go to the first area I mentioned, which is right here. So this is a gate that's supposed to open. But we got this cool jump that we can do a lot. So we're just gonna jump over it, like that. You can actually get stuck inside of the gate. This happened to me on multiple occasions. It's actually pretty easy to get out, but it is a lot of time loss you get from doing that. So this is the Asufuchi area. We're not gonna leave this area. Well, we're gonna sort of leave this area. This is the final bit of the game. So you're supposed to go all the way up, talk to someone, get a key, go down, and go to a different area in Kamui. However, we're not gonna do that. So you see those big blue doors over there? That is the entrance to the dungeon of this area, which is called Wauku Shrine. Good name. It's a pretty cool shrine. We're basically just going to go in and then out again, not beating the bosses, sadly. But the doors are closed with giant chains and everything, so we can't go in there. Or can we? This is actually a skip you can also do in New Game. It's a bit harder on New Game because you need to make use of Vine and Power Slash to do it. But here we basically go out of bounds and go straight into the loading zone to go into Wauku Shrine. Now here the game expects you to run on the ice, and when you do that you're gonna get shot by those 2 cannons. And what the game wants you to do is slow time down and cut the bullets back. However, we can just run on the edge here and not get hit at all, because there's no ice here. So that's pretty nice. And then we're gonna enter the dungeon proper, which has pretty fitting music. Kinda hate it because I don't really like this dungeon that much. On its own, it's pretty cool music, but compared with the dungeon, combined with the dungeon. So we're gonna jump up all the way here, basically skipping the entire dungeon. Well, not the entire one, but most of it. And this is going to be a bunch of KTs, so I'm gonna focus on that. Okay, that's the landing. Okay, so now we're up here. I'm gonna go. Okay, yeah, that's bad. I clipped straight through those wheels. These wheels are the bane of my existence. I absolutely hate them. Because they never seem to do what they're actually supposed to do. Give you proper places to stand on. You can, if you land on the wrong part of it, you basically just clip through it and you fall down and void out. It's really annoying. These spiders are also annoying. I got pretty lucky here. I tend to slow time down because I hate them. And I get into a fight with this weird demon. It's pretty close, which is nice. Quickly. And then we're gonna... You're supposed to, like, go into a certain area to learn how to set these wheels, and I did that incorrectly on the first one. And you're supposed to slow time down to be able to see it, but you can just use the brush. Oh my god. The other one would have worked. There we go. And you're supposed to put them in these positions. And that, like, opens up that horn there, which gives us the final brush power, which is Blizzard. And you can have 3 guesses what Blizzard does. Also, you might notice that the weapon on my back has changed. When you get the final brush power, you get this weapon, which is called Solar Flare, but it's not that good, so we're gonna switch out of it. And now we're gonna leave this dungeon. Jump over this invisible wall, and we'll land there. And we're gonna go back from where we came, which is pretty nice. So these cutscenes you can actually skip, but these text boxes, but I accidentally didn't do that, apparently. When I set up the file, that's just kind of stupid. So now we're gonna do the final thing that has to do with all brushes, which is the final brush upgrade. Which, well, if you can see patterns, should be obvious which one this is. Almost hit the PS button there. It is Power/3, which will allow us to cut through Diamond. But we're not really gonna use it for that. Just gonna leave here. So, to get to the final part of the game, you're supposed to do a big story thing that will lift that giant ship in the air, and will allow you and will create a bridge to go up there. However, there's something very cool going on here, and I'm going to say what it is once I get it. Stand on a specific spot right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, So yeah, the loading zone of this specific end part of the game is already there. So all we have to do is jump into it, and then we're at the final part of the game, which is a boss rush, basically. So a lot of these bosses we've actually never fought. I think it's about half of these, no, 2 of these bosses we've never fought, because we basically could just leave the area. This is one of the bosses we did fight. You also get a lot of exposition about what this ship is and what those weird ghost floaty things are. Not gonna tell anything about it because it spoils a big part of the game. So here we have Blight again. Hey Blight. We're just gonna kill him real quick. And we're pretty close to the portal, because I know where they spawn. Well, give or take. And next we're gonna go to what is probably the coolest fight in this game. I feel like the strats for this fight are so cool. They're found by the Japanese community, which isn't that big of this for the New Game Plus. They mostly do New Game stuff, and it's been kind of dead for a while as far as I've heard, but recently this new guy called Enraku has been doing a lot of glitch hunting for this game in both New Game and New Game Plus. And he was the one who brought this specific strat to our attention, which is a really awesome strat. So we're gonna skip with that hat, and we're just gonna let the Earth hat do its thing. And just as with the first Orochi fight, we're gonna trigger that hat, but we're also gonna trigger the other hat. You can actually trigger 2 hats at the same time, all 3 hats at the same time. And we need exactly 3. That is not what I wanted to do. That is bad. I hope it still works. Oh, okay, okay. Well, I'm fucked. You're supposed to water spout all 3 of them at the same time, but I completely messed up twice because the brush is bad. Wow, and that didn't hit. I thought it was going to hit. Well, this is a train wreck of a fight. There we go, that's what's supposed to happen. And then we do it again. That was pretty bad. On this last phase, I'm actually hitting the bell in the middle as well. I did it again. What is going on, game? I've never seen it do it twice. I hit the bell as well, so I only have to use 1 slip instead of 2. It saves half a second or so. This time we can't kill the heads as easily because they have more health. So we actually have to use the glaive to hit them. This part is kind of annoying because you see all that fire falling down. That is somewhat random. And it does that. It hits you. I got lucky and I could still hit the head. But sometimes it'll just basically not allow you to hit the head. You need to have a specific timing for these heads. But yeah, like that. That's what I was talking about. You need to have a full charge to kill them. Just kill them with the beads. We were inside that hat, by the way, which is pretty funny. And that was Orochi fight, which went pretty badly, I must add. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go overestimate. It's kinda sucky. Let's see, that takes a minute, that takes a minute. 2 minutes in total. Well, 3 minutes almost. That takes 1.5. I can still barely get inside estimate, actually. It'll be hard. I have to get these next fights perfectly, but they're not really hard fights to do. So this boss is the boss of Tsuta Ruins. We've never seen her before, because we didn't go to the boss of Tsuta Ruins. We skipped that because we can. So how this boss works is you have to connect the vines to the hooks that are on the back of her body. Like so. And you do that with 3 hooks. Stand a little closer to get to the portal. I use 2 slips and she's dead. And I'm right next to the portal, which is nice. All planned. So the boss after this is a pushover, really. He is the boss of Gil Shrine, where we also skipped doing him, so we've never seen him before. Well, I've seen him before, I guess, but we've never seen him before in the run. So we use a slip, and we use Gilstorm so we can actually We use Gilstorm so we can actually kill him. Wow. Well, it's pretty bad. So that fight is really quick, but I kind of messed up a bit, which is bad because that probably means I go overestimate. Well, we'll see. I'm gonna go portal. I go to the last fight of the boss rush, which is not the final fight of the game, however. That would be really anticlimactic. Basically, the ending of the game be a boss rush. That would be really boring. Wow, 1 frame too early there on the skipping. So here we fight Ninetales again. It's much of the same. We do one little strat differently to make it more consistent. Try to hit her. I use the Thunderstormer. I search for the fat one, this one. And we use a slip. Wait a bit. Again. Now we're looking for the old one. I kind of know exactly where the positions are with the way I'm moving. Apparently, according to Darkness, the way you're moving kind of determines where they spawn. But I don't really know anything about that. So we use a slip there real quick. We don't actually need it, but it's just so that Ninetales will stay at her spot, which makes it a little bit more consistent, because if we're too close, she will just jump over us and lose a lot of time to that. So now we're gonna go to the final boss of the game. And I can actually confirm we're gonna go underestimate, so that's pretty cool. It's gonna be a horrible run, but it's underestimate, so it's fine. I'm actually happy I didn't put 238 as an estimate, because we probably wouldn't have been able to make that. Which is pretty sad, but I guess it's expected when I'm playing on a monitor I'm not used to. It took me a real long time to finally get my KTs in order. Makes me kind of sad. So here's Marco. Goodbye, Marco. And we're gonna go to the final boss, which has 5 phases, so be prepared for that. It's gonna take a while. So this boss is probably the most well-designed boss you've ever seen in your life, and we're gonna cheese him completely. It makes me sad every time that slips exist in this game because they make this fight a total joke. This fight is literally an auto-scroller, and it is still, if you play this casually, do not use slips. Absolutely do not use slips. You will not enjoy the fight if you do not use slips. So at the start of the fight, we've lost all of our powers, and every time we deal a certain amount of damage to him, he gives us a brush power back, which we can use to harm him in his specific phase. We can just do that. We're also like way overpowered thanks to the string of beats, so this, whoa, lag. So this fight becomes somewhat of a joke as well because of that. We deal so much damage to him that each phase he just gives his ability, it gives the ability to his back quite quickly. So right now he has no health, for instance. But he will still continue going through these phases because we need to get our brush powers back, and that is why this fight in New Game Plus is a complete auto-scroller. Just have to wait for him to give us our shit back, and then we finish him off and go to the next phase. And it makes me really sad because this is a really awesome boss fight. And this is the biggest example of why these next 2 phases are the biggest example why this is really stupid to do with slips. We use 5 slips to bring him down to almost death, and we just go through its phases. So yeah, it looks like a really boring boss to do, but it's so well designed. It's such an amazing boss fight. It basically uses everything the game has taught you, but because slips exist, this boss is kind of a joke. We literally just wait for him to do his stuff. That. He'll also always do this because we've dealt so much damage to him. Usually the slots are a little bit different, so you can actually deal damage to him, but because we can just use slips to deal damage to him, it becomes kind of a joke. And now we have all the brush powers we need from him, and we go to the next phase, where we will literally only be using slips. I will not even move. Just nothing but slips. Well, he pushes me, so yeah, I guess I moved. And yeah, I do get kind of mad about it because it's such a good fight, dude. I can't stress that enough. Okay. After this we use 3 slips and then we go into the final phase and get ready on time when we are there. So now the story is like, oh, you've defeated him, but I won't spoil any more than that. This loading zone this loading screen is so long and it gets me antsy every single time because I feel like the game is going to crash. And time. The game timer is actually still not stopped, so I still have to skip through all these cutscenes and the credits, sadly, because the game timer keeps going through the credits. and then we instantly get to see the game timer. And that is a big difference, by the way. Usually it isn't that big, but the game was lagging a lot through the game, and it doesn't count the lag frames because it's in-game time. So yeah, this is a pretty bad run, but it's to be expected. I wasn't used to the screen. This is the first time I've ever done this run in HD, and it makes me love the game even more because it's beautiful. I would like to do short few shoutouts real quick to El Eternal Darkness and Kaiserado and a lot of other people in the Okami community. We're really nice people. We hang out a lot. We play games a lot, and they've helped me out a lot learning this game and doing races and motivating me to get really good. So next up we have we